Let's go. Let's go. Let's talk movies, baby. Yeah. What's up, Navajoans? What's up? What's up to the Facebook click-throughs, Twitter click-throughs? What's up to the Instagram superficial?
Really?
I was just playing. I love y'all too. What's up? My name is Terrell Bilal. You are tuned in to Novelties Movie Podcast, where I talk movies. It is a trend show. It is an entertainment show. It is an information show. This is an entertainment show. If I'm not entertaining you, you storm the gates and you let me know that you're not being entertained. I got a lot to get to. I got front page to get to. I have the category 5 to get into, where I categorize these things by genres and get to talking about them, but brief. It's one of my briefer ones. I got Trailer Park 2020. It's a very different trailer park. Similar to my last one. Different and similar as my last one. Because, again, it is short. But in my last one, I at least had a movie that comes out in 2019. All these movies are coming out way, way in the future in 2020. Except one. One might come out in January, I think. But they are 2020. And then we're going to get into the rounds for the crown. Now, I will not have a spoiler reaction on this episode. I think I will delegate that to its own episode because I've watched a lot of movies, as I always do. And I want to let you know. Well, honestly, the spoiler room is not to inform you of anything. That's to kind of take down, all of the dramatizations and really just talk movies. I prefer people who already watched it and people who have opinions to be able to bounce off those. So if you've seen any of these movies that I'll be covering in my spoiler review, I think I just tease them on Facebook instead of naming them here, just in case I'm white noise right now. Yeah, so get ready for that, because I watched a lot of movies. I'll be kind of skimming over them throughout the podcast. I try to keep my podcast spoiler-free. It gets frustrating. People be like, I try to avoid it because I don't want spoilers. Look, I don't get spoilers. All right? I would theoretically let them be a movie critic one day, and I take it serious as they do when it comes down to these spoilers. That's an art form, talking about movies without spoilers. I like art. Let's get into the front page. The front page is where I discuss some of the trending topics that's going on in the film industry. Let's get into it. The first up. Oh, that's weird. My notes are weird sometimes. So Lion King did not submit their movies to the Golden Globes for Best Animated Feature. I think that this is incredible. I don't know why they thought that it would be more important to honor the production company I guess you can call it a production company that made the animation for The Lion King. They were actually shut down. In all likelihood, they went bankrupt, or in all likelihood, they couldn't pay whoever they had to pay in the Bitcoin to get that animation, because, oh my God, it's incredible. We all know they would have won. It would have been a runaway win. They would have blew Avengers out of the water. They would have won running away. But they didn't even submit it. I think that this is kind of, I think it's kind of sad. And my hot take of it is, Disney, they really messed up on this one. And it's cool to see them mess up because they make so many decisions every year. And they rarely get them wrong. Disney, you got this one wrong. Next up, Power Rangers is in pre-production. That's right. They have another Power Rangers in the works. My hot take for this is Power Rangers is dead. It's just a dead franchise. Let sleeping dogs lie. It's over. It's over for Power Rangers. Look, I honestly think that it's surprising that Power Rangers worked when they did. They used the same formula over and over again. It was an after-school special. I don't see why they're trying to get more out of this franchise. They can't. It's bled dry. But I get it. You're trying to make sure you get your money, trying to make sure you get those guaranteed returns, but it's not always worth it. Let this franchise rest where it lies. Next up, Orlando Jones. I wanted to say this for last, but I won't, because I think this is the type of, these are the times where I need a co-host, because I would love to get some second opinions on this. But Orlando Jones is in an uproar about getting fired from the American Gods show, where he says that they thought, that he was speculating, of course, but he's saying that they thought that his character portrayed the wrong message. His character was, I should have did the research, I guess, but some guy who influence people to, rebel. So they decided to introduce him, and this is very disrespectful to Neil Gaiman, if you ask me. But they decided that character was just too strong, sending the wrong message. I don't know if that's true or not. This is speculation on his part. I'm going to talk about this as a spectator and a casual fan of American Gods. I was really into American Gods. It was kind of pulling me, kicking and screaming that first season. Season 2, it completely fell off the wagon. I don't know what happened to it. They needed to make some changes. They needed to cut a lot of fat. I think that Orlando Jones was a casualty of that. He never contributed to the story. His character was really cool, but he never contributed to it, and they probably were better off getting rid of him. So I don't know if this is a race issue. To me, and my hot take is, story matters more than race. Story matters more than everything. It matters more than everything. I don't consider anything more important than story. And you don't either. You may not know it, but you don't. And that's what happened with this show. These people came in and they was like, look, this isn't working out. Nobody has confirmed or denied that that's why they did it, that they did it because it sent the wrong message. Nobody has confirmed and denied that. I don't think that this is how things work anymore. I think that we are so desensitized to messages and violences. Like we are advertised to hundreds of times a day. We are desensitized to it. They thought the same thing about Joker. People really think that the youth watch stuff and they get influenced. Look, at a time that was actually true. That was more true than not at a time when this legacy was new. When this media form was new. It's not new anymore. We're numb to it. Stop thinking that this is ever the reason that anything will happen. But anyway, he didn't confirm or deny it, so I don't know if it's about race. But if it is about race, it's probably for the better. I mean, I said that wrong. You know what the fuck I mean. Next up, Frozen 2 joins the $1 billion club. This surprises no one. My hot take is, come on, it's Disney. Next up, Rihanna is looked at for Black Panther 2. I don't think he's going to get the part, honestly. And honestly, this might be a rumor altogether. The headline didn't make any sense. They was talking about having Storm and Black Panther. Now, Storm is in the Black Panther universe. This is a thing, but I think that it's a little too soon. They haven't introduced the X-Men into the MCU yet. I would be really surprised if they did it using Storm first. Storm did marry Black Panther in the comics. I don't know if this needs to be, done right now, but my hot take is accent should get you roles. Talent should, not accents. Next up, Darth Maul prequel is in the works at Disney Plus. People, what is it about? Why won't Disney understand that Star Wars doesn't really work? None of it works. I can't think of a Star Wars property that was impactful for more than a year. Remember that Star Wars Clone Wars thing? Yeah, that didn't last. None of the video games have transitioned into anything more. In a day and age where they're willing to turn any video game into more, it hasn't turned into anything more. And then you got the new reboot of the Skywalker saga with the latest one, starting with The Force Awakens, that's constantly letting people down. These things make all the money in the world. But if they're just constantly getting trashed, if word of mouth is constantly trashing them, if the critics is constantly hating it, then they are losing their impact over the culture. But Disney Plus is still pushing this because they know that this works. And they know that Darth Maul does have a fan base. Now, I think that Darth Maul actually will be a bigger hit than the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that is coming to Disney Plus for sure. The Darth Maul thing is and when they say in the works, it's basically a rumor. It's basically a couple of people who pushing to get this thing behind the scenes, trying to get it into pre-production. Try to get it greenlit. But I don't think it's gonna work, people. I don't think it's going to work. I think that The Mandalorian is an anomaly. I think that these Star Wars properties will constantly lose steam because people will start to see through them. People that just big ass space odysseys of people chasing around each other. It's just it's a bunch of people chasing around each other in a void, doing nothing. It's about nothing, okay? It's about nothing. The first 2 movies is about blowing up a ship. And then when they redid it, it was about blowing up a planet ship. Yes, I said a planet ship.
Help me!
Like, what the fuck? It's just, it's the most overrated franchise in history. And I can say that because it's one of the biggest franchises in history. I can imagine some of the listeners is like, this is it. I'm done. I'm off board because this is the biggest franchise ever. But I said this way back on the podcast ago, and I even named that podcast Fuck Star Wars in 2019. Because this is our father's franchise that the grandson is trying to milk for everything they have. Let our fathers have this. This is just something that's special to them. The Empire Strikes Back was one of the best movies I ever seen. Let them have it. My hot take is it won't work, and The Mandalorian was an aberration. I promise you that. Promise you that. Next up, John Wick and Matrix 4. John Wick 4 and Matrix 4 will be released on the same day, April 21st, 2021. And is that going to be the end of the world? That could be the end of the world. That
Breaking
makes no
news.
sense. This is a coincidence, I'm sure, but this is not good. This is not good. Let's see if Keanu Reeves is this big. Now, everybody's not like me. I can go to 2 movies in a day. I do it all of the time. Is people going to do this, 2 movies in a day? I guess you can just go the next day or the next weekend or whatever. But trust me, movies are most impactful in their first weekend. So I don't know what in the world is the strategy here. Let's see what happens. John Wick is going to make a boatload of money. The Matrix 4 is about to make a boatload of money. And Keanu Reeves is about to break some records here. Maybe they trying to get him to be the greatest actor ever. Because this may make him the greatest actor ever when y'all see the numbers that he's about to do with both of these movies being released on the same day. Oh my Lord, the world is going to fall. Trust me. If you're not a John Wick fan or you are not a Matrix fan, I dare you to watch either of them and tell me you wouldn't watch a part 4. I think you would. And finally, Quentin Tarantino is saying that a Kill Bill 3 is not out of the question. Quentin Tarantino, it should be. It should be. Let's be honest about Kill Bill. The first Kill Bill was great. Oh my God, I love the first Kill Bill. And then the second Kill Bill was like, meh. It started to lose steam. It wasn't as inspired. It wasn't as Western. It changed genres kinda. And but there was still blood. Quentin Tarantino's gonna give you your blood. But I don't know how this story would evolve. I got a birdie in my ear telling me that it would have been cool. It would be cool if the daughters picked up the mantle. I don't think we really want to see that either. Do we? I don't know. My hot take is Quentin Tarantino should just do move. I heard Quentin Tarantino was doing Star Trek, and I haven't heard anything about that since. So maybe that was just a rumor. I really reacted to that thing. But my hot take of that is, I almost want to say like Quentin Tarantino is washed up or something, but I won't because he'll mess around and do something amazing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wasn't a bad movie, okay? But it's just not my favorite movie. It's like, man, I don't ever need to watch that again. But that's it for the front page. That's it for the hot takes on the front page. Should be some interesting stuff. Front page is very interesting to me, though, because these so many rumors, and then it's news mixed with rumors, and a lot of these rumors, they won't even come into fruition until at least a year from now. This is a podcast from the future, if you can't tell. I used to worry about how my podcast will age. It might age okay, because it's a podcast in the future. Like, if you listen to my podcast 6 months from now, this podcast right here, and I'll be talking about movie trailers you see or stuff like that. Like, it'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. It's like I'm a time traveling podcast. Think about that for a second. You thought about it? Next up is Category 5. Category 5 is where I rank the hottest movies according to their genre. And I forgot a movie to talk about, but hopefully it'll just come to me like a thief in the night. And I come up with that movie. It's a movie I wanted to talk about on the comedy section, or it might have been some stand-up that's on Netflix. I don't know, because I think I want to start incorporating more stand-up when it comes to comedy, because comedies are rare in Hollywood. You don't get a lot of them, especially when Oscar season comes. Comedies just disappear. Sucks, kinda. I miss comedy sometimes. I need them. For action and adventure, the winner of the category, I don't want to call it the winner. For action and adventure, it is going to Jumanji, the next level. So, look, whatever. It's a serviceable movie. I got my laughs or whatever. It was funny in spots, and then but they used the same joke over and over again. So if you got tired of that joke, you got tired of the movie. But if the joke kept working for you, then the movie was still cool. It was just like, it was cool. Of course, this is a mega franchise now. This movie is also successful, following the success of the first Jumanji. That made more than 600. No, I'm thinking of Fast and Furious. But Jumanji made its dough. And this one is making its dough. And so we're going to get a 3. And they set up a 3. And the 3, it makes even less sense than this one made. And this one I walked into knowing it wouldn't make sense. And here we are. But you know how I go. Nothing is interesting unless you inject some negativity in that shit. And we're talking about the losers for action and adventure. And the loser for this one is Harriet. For comedy, we gonna go with Jumanji, the next level, because it is a mess of a genre of a movie. It is an action and adventure and a comedy movie. It's all in there. And honestly, this thing just doesn't get no competition. Like I said, I was gonna go to Netflix and get a couple stand-up specials that came out just to get this thing some competition. But whatever. It's a bad time for comedy people. It's a bad time. And the loser of the comedy section is Black Christmas. In this clusterfuck of a movie, they were constantly trying to be funny. Look, not only was the story ridiculous and not funny, they were trying to be funny over and over again. First off, when will movies learn that unlikable characters aren't funny? They aren't. You want bad things to happen to them. In a world that you built where bad things is happening to everybody, why don't bad things happen to the people that the audience doesn't like? I don't get it. It was a comedy of errors. That's what it was. And I hate Black Christmas. More about that later. For dramas, the best drama out right now is hands down Knives Out. This movie is incredible. So it's funny. Well, I talk to people about Knives Out. People are always like, you're saying I hate everything and blah, blah, blah. And then I talk about a movie I like. And they be like, what? I haven't heard of that. So it's like, damn, what kind of conundrum am I in? I can't satisfy anybody. But Knives Out, if you're sleeping on that one, you need to go see it. I talked about it so much ad nauseum on my last episode, and in the spoiler room special, I talk about Knives Out ad nauseum. Check it out, please, especially if you've seen it, and talk about why this movie is just incredible and one of the best dramas you're gonna see. Probably, or I should say, one of the best dramas you've seen this year, because again, well, I don't know. We might pretty much be out of that. We might be out of the dramas. So yeah, this might be one of the best dramas you've seen this year. Besides Ad Astra, which was a sci-fi drama. So that's kind of, The losers of the drama, the close calls is Dark Waters. Really good drama, but it's just doesn't pack the same punch as Knives Out. And then you got Black Christmas, which was for some reason kept trying to bring drama. Look. This is a horror movie. Stop with the drama. I get it that they're college kids, but you don't need no drama. All you're doing is mucking up your character development that you didn't need in the first place. You didn't need it in the first place. They tried to make this movie mean something that meant nothing. Trust and believe it meant nothing. And I'm a man. Hint, hint. I'm a man. And this movie did nothing for me. Didn't teach me any lesson. And I would think that that's who they were trying to reach with what all of the BS that they were going for in this movie. It was awful. Awful. Next up in horror is Black Christmas, because it is nothing else out with horror. The Antler movie that's coming out, I'm pretty sure that would smoke this movie. This is the worst movie one of the worst movies. I may may say that it's the worst movie of 2019, honestly. And yeah, so it wins by default. And you know, the close call is Black Christmas because it's awful. It's awful. It is the best horror and the worst horror that I've seen this year easily. It's worse than Child's Play. I hated Child's Play. Child's Play just made fun of us. People, movies make fun of us. They make fun of us. They sell you, they give you something that they can easily market. You can easily market Chucky. They changed Chucky and still was able to market him the same. They changed Chucky, and then they gave you a horrible story. And you were like, oh, it's Chucky. I like that movie. They're robbing you of your money. And that's what they're doing with movies like Black Christmas, where they're robbing you of the money. They know that you're going to pay for the horror genre. But guess what? They don't want to show you a horror movie. Oh, no. They want way worse for you. They want to teach you a lesson. They want to teach you a lesson. Let's see how you take that lesson. If you see Black Christmas, hit me up wherever you can find me. Terrell Bilal is where I'm at. Terrell Bilal the second, that is. There's another Terrell Bilal. He happens to be my dad. Don't talk to him about movies. He'll be clueless. But you talk to me, let me know. I would love to know what people think about Black Christmas, man. God. Next up in crime is Richard Jewell, the drama about the guy who saved people and the media made him a bad guy. Ain't that crazy? I kind of want to, for a while I wanted to be in media, and I had no idea how evil media could be, and I think this is pretty cool. But this movie, it made about $5 million. I don't think it made more than $10 million yet. I really don't. And, you know, I don't know. If he was black, it probably would have made like 17 million.
And haters
they should have made Richard Jewell black.
And
the worst of the crime is Black Christmas because it was so much crime. It was so much crime. People, there's such thing as campus police. They have the police of the city who coordinate with the police of the college campus. They have police of college campuses. This movie is horrible. Hopefully you can read in between the lines here. Hopefully you can read in between the lines and see what I mean. All right, so shout out to me for having terrible notes. Y'all my people. I'll tell you anything. I don't give a fuck. Y'all my people. So I found my comedy. I put my comedy further down.
What are you doing?
And I forgot to delete the other comedy. So for the comedy, I did watch Tiffany Haddish's Black Bar Mitzvah. This is going to be the best that you can find of the stand-up, I guess, or whatever. But they did drop another one in Mike Birbiglia. I think that Mike Birbiglia can be funny and he can be not funny because he's very awkward. But, you know, some people like that awkward humor. If you're into that, then that's out. But honestly, you might even enjoy it more than Tiffany Haddish, honestly. But hey, I need to give y'all some comedy because we don't talk enough comedy. Sometimes you need comedy, you know? Laugh the depression away. You're depressed, I know. You don't gotta bullshit me, I know you are. And lastly, for comedy that almost made the grade, Black Christmas. Again. I really didn't like Black Christmas. If you watch Black Christmas and, you know, you get that inkling in the back of your neck and you're like, this is horrible. I wonder what Terrell thinks about this. Well, now you know ahead of time. You get to go in there prepared. Listen to the spoiler review where I'm gonna really be in my bag. When I say I'm in my bag, I mean in a negative way. You're gonna be in your bag in a good way. You mean your bag? Oh, he in his bag. I'll be in my bag in a bad way, in a bad way, because people think I'm mean. I suppress the bad stuff. I put the worst of my personality in the bag. I'm gonna be in my bag on Black Christmas. I got no remorse for it. Let's go to the Trailer Park 2020. Let's talk some motherfucking trailers. First up on the Trailer Park. Hopefully you guys know my rating system by now. 1 through 3. Let's get into it. First up on the Trailer Park is Ghostbusters. I'll give this trailer a 2. I think that it's very unnecessary. Look, I think that Hollywood is only getting lazier. Hollywood, it's your boy Real. Listen to me. The people aren't idiots. Stop just thinking you can slap the name of something and make everybody happy. You can't just slap a brand on stuff all of the time. I think that this will be a much better effort than the last one. I think that this is what they should have did in the last one. And from the looks of it, they're retconning the last one. I don't think they have to, honestly. From the looks of it, they're retconning the last one. And they are completely reinventing the brand. But we should just let Ghostbusters be. Let our fathers have their franchises. Just let them have it. Why can't we come up with anything? Why can't we? What happened? What happened? Let them have it. Doesn't look interesting. It looks okay. It looks okay. It could work, but it's probably not going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good. I got much to say about it. I'm tired. I'm exhausted of reboots. I'm done. I'm so exhausted. So exhausted. Next up on the trailer park is Antlers. Antlers is from Fox Spotlight. So this looks a little more interesting. But I also gotta get this thing too. The mythology that this is coming from. This is coming from Norse mythology. I don't know why Hollywood is so into Norse mythology. Maybe it's something I'm missing. Maybe I don't understand that it's a big demographic of people who are into Norse mythology. But you have the Loki. Loki is a Norse god. He did influence. He is the same Loki from Marvel. He did influence that character. And he had like kind of a pet or whatever that lived in the woods or whatever. And that's gonna be the bad guy in Antlers, and he was in a movie that I seen recently. Look, I gotta straight apologize to y'all. I am not informed as I should be. Hold on, let me pause the podcast. Hold on. So what just happened is that I just developed into a better podcaster right in front of your eyes. So I have this thing where I try to keep it live as I can. But then there's sometimes where I can't really educate the audience like I want to. So what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to just start pausing and I'm going to start finding information. But I'm not going to tell y'all. It's going to be a lot more seamless. But I'm telling you. Y'all my people, so I tell y'all this type of shit. I give y'all insight. You couldn't get this if I got a co-host. Look, not having a co-host has perks, okay? I'm trying to tell you. It does. But anyway, it was this movie called The Ritual way back in 2017, and it was about this same creature. The movie is okay, I guess. I think that they miss on a lot of things that they're trying to do. Some movies try to make things, they try to give you these themes. They try to make them about alcoholism and addiction and all of this different stuff. And a lot of times, man, it just doesn't work. It's just a little too confusing. So, it was okay. But at the same time, it's this same creature, and this creature isn't interesting to me. I feel like they're going to do the same thing again, where they try to use this mythology to teach, a lesson or show us a theme. And I think they're going to miss, honestly. But it could be good. I'm always wrong about these things because the money's there. You got some good actors in here. You got a shot. And finally, next up is DC Studios' very own Wonder Woman 1984. And what the fuck are they doing? People, I have no idea what DC is doing. I don't. Like, I don't know why a prequel now. I get it that you got to keep your brands coming out. I get it that Batman is coming. But I think that setting this thing in 1984, you get your 80s jokes. I guess at the end of the day, it's smart, right? Because at the end of the day, you get people love 80s nostalgia. That's their thing. Honestly, 80s nostalgia is kind of unbeatable. Maybe that's what it is. You did this. You know how you did this? Because you like Stranger Things. That 80s nostalgia, it just gets you every time. Because everybody was right at the perfect age and cocaine was not such a big deal. You did this. So here you go. Now every time Hollywood wants to get a short shot out of you, and as bad as DC needs to rebuild its characters and make Wonder Woman more likable because she's dull as a board, they're gonna put this stuff in the 80s. I'm not that, blown away by the 80s. I'm not. This movie looks like it's a retread of the first one. It looked like it's paced the exact same. It looked like it kind of got the exact same arcs going on. It looks like that it's a big supervillain, and it looked like it's a creepy, schemy guy. or whatever. And then they brought Steve back. I almost called him Steve Rogers. But they brought her boyfriend Steve back, and like, that's not weird, right? That's weird. And he wasn't in the Justice League movie, so like, okay, did he die again? Like, he died again? So well, it's only one way to find out. But we won't find out until freaking April or whatever. But it's trying to look. The action is gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. But I gotta give this thing a 2. I can't give it a 3. I didn't think that Wonder Woman was a bad movie at all. I enjoyed it in spurts, but it fell apart in the third act. Y'all hear me say that a lot. If you're building all these things, this is what happened with Queen and Slim too. If you're building all these things, foreshadowing is a big thing in Hollywood, right? It's huge. It's huge. All of us film people is all about it. You hear people talk about this as a non-film person, but you sense it. You feel it. But they kept building stuff to happen in the third act, and at the third act, it just got messy. I hated the final fight. I didn't like the villain. I didn't like it. Hopefully, the villain here is better. We'll see. From the trailer, it looks like the villain is an Amazon. I'm for that. And they probably should have did that the first time. This could be kind of an apology for the first one. We'll see. I'm all about those. Based on what I'm hearing about Star Wars, the new one, based on what I'm hearing about the Rise of Skywalker, you know, the Rise of Skywalker, the last Skywalker story. Based on what I'm hearing about that, people like it, and people is even saying that it's an apology for the last one. So I'm not against that. Whatever. Hook us up. And finally, Ryan Reynolds is right back after making 6 Underground that just dropped on Netflix Friday. He is promoting his next project. It's not coming out for a really long time. But, you know, the earlier for these things, the earlier you get them in people's heads, the better. I don't think this thing is coming out till July. But it is a movie called Free Guy, where they basically rip off Wreck-It Ralph. They just rip it off. There won't be any kids around or anything. It's a violent Wreck-It Ralph. But I like Wreck-It Ralph. So fuck it. Sign me up. I give it a 3. I'm the most intrigued on this one. So it's going to be my highest rated trailer in the trailer park. Because I'm a guy and I like violence. How far we've come. Alright. I ain't going to bullshit you. We're going to get to the rounds for the crown. The rounds for the crown is where I rank the movies in the playoff seeding or playoff format, and I figure out which movies are the best of the best. And look, you need to also pay attention to my runners up. Half of the time, my runners up are also amazing. All right, I'm trying to tell you. But let's bring out the contenders. The first seed on the rounds for the crown is Frozen 2. The second seed is Jumanji, The Next Level. Number 3 is A Marriage Story. Number 4 is 6 Underground. Look at Netflix placing high on the seating with 2 movies straight. That's crazy. Number 5 is Knives Out. Number 6 is Black Christmas. Number 7 is Richard Jewell. And number 8 is coincidentally Code 8. Let's get into it. So for the first matchup, we got Frozen 2 versus Code 8. And look, I hated this. I hated doing this because what I wanted to kind of do is put on for Code 8 real quick. So a while ago, I covered this. In my in the trailer when I was talking about the trailer park or whatever. I talked about Code 8. Code 8 is a short film. I want to make short films. I'm planning a short film. I'm inspired when stuff like this happens. This short film got picked up by a studio. Studio gave this guy some actors. They gave this guy a budget because the special effects were there. They weren't, incredible, but they were there. They were serviceable. And I thought that they managed to pull out a good movie that just came from the ground up. It was a grassroots movement of a movie. I admired it and I wanted to put it on. With that being said, it can't hold a candle to Frozen 2 because Frozen 2 has $1 billion kajillion in its budget because it knows it's going to make $1 billion kajillion right back in merchandising alone. God, kids is exploited in this country. But Frozen 2 is going to have to move on to the next round. The next matchup in the first round in the rounds for the crown is Jumanji, The Next Level versus Richard Jewell. Richard Jewell is probably a better movie, honestly, but it's just not as entertaining. It's just not as entertaining. But the story is a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. But if I want to just have fun, if I'm gonna rewatch something over and over again, and if I can't, and I just can't put a movie that made basically no money into a movie that's making a bunch of money, so both of these movies are marketed heavily. Richard Jewell was marketed really heavily. So with that being said, a lot of people looked at both of these the potential of both of these movies, and it was like, I'm going with Jumanji. So I'm going to have to go with Jumanji. I'm kind of selling souls on this one because I know that Richard Jewell is probably better, but in every other category, it loses. So I got to have it drop to Jumanji in the first round of the rounds for the crown. Next up on the rounds for the crown is A Marriage Story versus Black Christmas. And yeah, I get to eliminate Black Christmas in the first round. You all saw it coming. A Marriage Story is superior storytelling compared to Black Christmas. A Marriage Story is a clinic in storytelling and directing and writing and everything that you could ask to see. It's actually a really good movie, people. And you people are crazy for ever thinking that you can market, that you can have two of these things come out around the same time. It's crazy. I said you people. I meant these people. I meant these people who are running the machine that's coined the term Hollywood. It's insane. Oh my God, it's insane. Is A Marriage Story a Christmas movie? I digress. Anyway, Marriage Story is taking this round easy. I didn't really get into Black Christmas like I wanted to, but that episode will be coming up soon, and I will be letting Black Christmas have it. I got to, I want to, and I got to. But it's losing. Oh, it's losing. Next up is Six Underground versus Knives Out, and no way in hell it happened again. A movie that is just a mess. It is a mess. It is a mess. And I get people saying that they like it. This is the thing, people. It's okay to like an action movie. And it's okay to like a bad movie. But you can't like both. How can you like a bad action movie? This movie is $100 million YouTube compilation. Michael Bay sat on YouTube day after day looking at compilations in his depression and decided that I'm going to make a story. And he came out with the weakest story ever. This fucking thing is masquerading as a movie when we all know that it's Power Rangers. I just watched the Power Rangers without the cool suits. You can't cheat me. This is awful. This is awful storytelling. I was never bought in, and they tried to buy you in at the beginning of this movie, but they kept making it go on like a bad music video. They didn't care about character development. They didn't care about anything. All they cared about was their stupid stunts. If you want to watch a glorified YouTube compilation video, be my guest. Sometimes when you go to the bar at places like Quaker Steak and stuff like that, they'll have like they have this loop or some station or something like that where they just show people doing amazing things or doing dumb things. It's just this loop and you're getting drunk. You're like, ha ha, look at that. That's what this movie is. And I like violence. I like stunts. I like a lot of the stuff they were doing, but you have to give me a story. I have to know that there's a reason that this lunacy is actually happening. Michael Bay, you can fool a few of us, but you can't fool us all. You can't. Talk about Six Underground more. I'll talk about it more. I don't know how y'all listen to this without wanting to listen to my spoiler videos, because it's gonna go down. But I'll talk about it more in the spoiler room special, because I got a lot of movies to talk about and I'm gonna talk about. But it's losing to Knives Out. Sometimes I go in for a while, but it's only because I'm kind of introducing. I'm kind of doing a little review. Talked about that. So we're in round 2 in the rounds for the crown. The first up is Frozen 2 versus A Marriage Story. Again, A Marriage Story is superior storytelling. I thought Frozen 2 kind of was a mess of a story, honestly. Couldn't stay consistent, and it's also a kids movie. I keep ranking this thing first because it's constantly bringing in the money. I pay attention to those things. Those things are the kind of things that keep Hollywood afloat. I have a certain appreciation for it, and that's how you end up ranking high on the rounds for the crown. But you don't keep going. You don't keep going if you're not bringing story. Frozen 2 didn't, and I didn't even like the songs all like that, honestly. If my kids was rolling around in the house singing, I'd blast music to drown them out. Next up is, on the second rounds for the crown, is Knives Out versus Jumanji, The Next Level. This is another easy. This is an easy rounds for the crown because Knives Out is easily getting rid of Jumanji, The Next Level. Jumanji, The Next Level. I appreciate Jumanji, The Next Level for trying. Okay, they tried. Sometimes movies don't try. They actually tried to put some story in here that was meaningful. They actually tried to put some character in here that was meaningful. I appreciate that. I still think that they were a little bit way too lazy when it came down to the actual Jumanji-ing. I think that they could have did a lot better with that. I think that Jumanji in itself, the board game, was so much better than this video game concept. And this video game concept that kind of just making fun of adventure movies, that's not what Jumanji became great by doing. I wish that somebody would have the balls to take this thing back to its roots, to take this thing back to what made it great, and make this thing about the board game. It was a much better story, and it will actually give you a chance to tell even more story because, again, they were trying to tell some character stuff in here. It just fell flat. With that being said, they're losing to a superior story and Knives Out. Knives Out is insane. It's incredible. Finally, in the third rounds for the crown. In the third round of the rounds for the crown, my computer died, it threw me off. In the third round for the rounds for the crown is, of course, Knives Out versus A Marriage Story. So it always gets tough on my rounds for the crown because in my last round for the rounds of the crown, I am always picking between two movies that I love. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Or could be thinking, if you're a cynic like me. Well, if you like the movies, of course the movies you like are going to win rounds for the crown. People, this is not necessarily true. I really just go off the best movies. A foreign movie was a rounds for the crown winner. That foreign movie is going to do damage come Oscar season. I promise you, it's going to do damage. I actually like movies. It just happens like this. It's not me just being a dick about it and like, these are the good movies and they're going to win the tournament. Like, no, I'm not bullshitting. But we got, so here you got two great stories, okay? And this is the thing, honestly. Both of these things are so well made that you can go either way. It's all about where you are as a demographic. This thing, A Marriage Story, will have the value to its target demographic, the same value that Knives Out has to its target demographic. Both of these are flawless storytelling, and both of these are great scripts. So people talk about scripts. When you hear me say script, think of a novel. Think of a book. People say a great book. Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to read a good book. A script is a microcosm of a good book. A good script cannot be as good as a good book. It's just impossible because books just offer you too much. But it's when you have a good blueprint and you put that in the hands of a capable director, he doesn't even have to be incredible, just capable. You get magic. That's what you got with these two movies. When it comes to The Marriage Story, I love a lot of the acting. Some of the actors was kind of a miscast. And I love that in this story that is borderline depressing, but necessary, that they still made it, digestible. They still put comedy where it needed to be. Yes, they got comedy in A Marriage Story. Now, you know good and damn well when you hear something called A Marriage Story, it's not a story about marriage. This is a story about a marriage falling apart. But how they explore that is incredible. I really love this movie, but it has to lose to Knives Out. And this is what I'm admitting to you right now. This is only losing to Knives Out because of the demographic I'm in. I simply prefer Knives Out. If you told me that I have enough money to buy one DVD, it would be Knives Out. But trust me, if you loan me just a couple more dollars, I'll be happy to spend that on the popcorn that I go and watch The Marriage Story on Netflix. Because it's on Netflix. Watch The Marriage Story if you need you a good drama. It's good TV. It's good TV. It's good film. It's good storytelling. But for now, the round for the crown champion is once again Knives Out. Man, they about to do some damage. They about to do some damage, man. I'm really excited about this Oscar season. Much stronger Oscars. Again, if Green Book came out last year, it would not have won. Very competitive year when it comes down to the dramas. Oscars are about the dramas. It's a bunch of old guys and they like their dramas. Old school. I like old school. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's the show. Check out these movies. I always tell y'all that at the end of every podcast because they say that podcasters need a call to action. That's my call to action. If you ever doubt that, there's good movies left on this planet, trust me, they're out there. You just gotta find them. I watch enough of them to find them, all right? Check them out, man. Check them out. Check out those trailers. Those trailers is amazing. You might be missing out. For real. Now it's time to react to some Golden Globe news. Let's get into it. So I want to talk about the movies. I don't want to talk about TV shows. I want to talk about the movies and actors and actresses that's been nominated for the Golden Globes this year. Let's get into it. So first up, for comedies. The best comedy that we have going is Dolomite Is My Name, Jojo Rabbit, Knives Out. So this is a live reaction. If you hear me getting a little overboard, this is crazy. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Rocket Man. What in the fuck? So my sneaky suspicion is Jojo Rabbit is gonna win this easily. You got a show that's kind of making fun of You got a movie that's kind of making fun of Hitler, and you got it done as well as Jojo Rabbit. But I'm sure that a lot of people won't get Jojo Rabbit, but you got it done as well as Jojo Rabbit. So in all likelihood, Dolomite Is My Name is gonna win this. I'm predicting that kind of easily, honestly. Knives Out was funny, but Golden Globe funny? Jesus. Next up in the dramas is 1917, which I haven't seen yet. It's not even released yet. The Irishman, Joker, Marriage Story, and The Two Popes. So yeah, I don't know. Scorsese is Hollywood made man. You know you don't mess with Scorsese. So of course the Irishman would get nominated. I was very underwhelmed with the Irishman. I'm surprised it's here. I have very high hopes for 1917, but I'm pretty sure that A Marriage Story will win this, even over The Two Popes. I can see that easily. Lead actress in a drama, you got Cynthia Erivo. I'm just going to guess these names. If I get them wrong, hey, just let me know. Hit me up. Scarlett Johansson in A Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan in Little Women. I didn't see Little Women. I skipped Little Women. Charlize Theron in Bombshell. So we still got time to figure these things out. And Renee Zellweger and Judy. I think that's probably gonna go to Charlize Theron in Bombshell because she is one of the best actresses out there, and she is doing her shit in this one. It could go to Scarlett Johansson, but I don't know. I have my doubts about it, but we'll see. Lead actor in a drama, you got Christian Bale in Ford vs. Ferrari, Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory, Adam Driver in Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, and Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes. So, look, I have a sneaky feeling about Joaquin Phoenix. Christian Bale was incredible in Ford vs. Ferrari. Adam Driver is incredible in The Marriage Story. It's funny. I was watching The Marriage Story, and I'm just like, this is the role that actors really want. But I think that as far as Joaquin Phoenix, I think that he had to do so much across the board when it came down to emotion. He had to be happy, sad, depressed, deranged, murderous. He had to be everything. This is what makes an actor, and this is why this was the role that Joaquin Phoenix could not say no to, as bad as he wanted to, because he doesn't really go for all of the superhero crap. But I think that this is going to get him a Golden Globe and possibly an Oscar. I could see it. Lead actress in a musical or comedy, you got I don't like that. A musical or comedy or a musical comedy, because Knives Out is not a musical. I don't know what the hell that's all about. But Annie de Armas, she was great in Knives Out. Aquafina in The Farewell, Kate Blanchett in Where'd You Go, Bernadette, Bernie Feldstein in Booksmart, and Emma Thompson in Late Night. I liked a lot of performances in Booksmart. That could be where this thing goes, I don't know. But keep an eye on Cate Blanchett. I'm pretty sure she got a good shot at that. Lead actor in a comedy or musical, you got Daniel Craig in Knives Out. You see a common theme here? You got Roman Griffin Davis and Jojo Rabbit. You got Leonardo DiCaprio and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't think that was his best work, honestly. I don't like that character. He didn't make sense to me. Taron Egerton and Rocket Man and Eddie Murphy and Dolomite Is My Name. Holy crap! Do you see that? Oh my god, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, to think of 3 people in there that equally deserve the win, just going at it. But my favorite for this one is Taron Egerton. I think that he got a good shot at winning it for Rocket Man. Supporting actress, you got Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell, Annette Bening in The Report. I cannot get myself to watch The Report, people. It just seems so boring. Laura Dern in A Marriage Story. Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers. Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers. What the fuck? What am I missing here? Wait. Jennifer Lopez has no business winning Best Supporting Actress in that mess of a movie. Best Supporting Actress of what? If Jennifer Lopez wins this, I will never watch the Golden Globes again. And then you got Margot Robbie for Bombshell. If she beats these people for doing playing a stripper with no depth to her character, at the end of her movie when everything was hanging in a balance, she couldn't even act her way out of making me believe that her character was scared. I refuse to believe that she deserved this award. I hope Margot Robbie gets it because that's my girlfriend. Next is supporting actor. You got Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes. Al Pacino in The Irishman. Joe Pesci in The Irishman. And Brad Pitt finally getting on the board. I thought he'd get on the board for Ad Astra, but it's not looking good for him. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, this is a very, very incredibly competitive Jesus, it gets competitive with the guys. So you got Jesus. I don't know where I would go in this one. Jeez. Sorry, y'all. I don't know where I would go with this one. I really like Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I think that he was just a really fleshed out character. I liked how he was written. This may end up having to go to Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes. I do think that Al Pacino was incredible in The Irishman. Joe Pesci was incredible in The Irishman. But I think that it was so much done technically in the Irishman that I don't know what is really standing out performance-wise, because everything is clicking because you got so many masters at work. Everything but the script, of course. In the editing bay. They could not edit that movie for shit. And Tom Hanks was great in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, but I think he's going to miss. The competition is just too tough. And then for Best Director, you got Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. I told you Parasite's coming. I told you. You got Sam Mendes in 1917. God, I'm excited to see that. You got Todd Phillips in Joker. Todd Phillips with the nomination. He came over from comedy and he got his shot. He's getting his shot. He will be nominated for an Oscar as well. It's going to be great. You got Martin Scorsese in The Irishman, and you got Quentin Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I do not understand why Quentin Tarantino is nominated. I don't understand why he's nominated for this one. Very confusing to me. I didn't think this was that good at all. Sometimes it seemed like it's who you know. It's kind of a who's who type of thing. Especially with these award shows. These award shows are about the money, and I'm saying that in way more ways than one. And that's a completely different discussion that we could just have on our own time. But I don't want to wait. I don't want to go into it now. But I'm really surprised Quentin Tarantino is doing this well with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think this is probably going to go to Bong Joon-ho, though. I have a good chance it will. Between him and Sam Mendes. Todd Phillips did direct the masterpiece, but sometimes the competition is just too fierce. Same thing for Scorsese. Same thing. Best screenplay, you got Nora Baumbach in The Marriage Story. You got Jean Joon-ho. I just said his name right now. I can't say it. Bong Joon-ho and Han Jin-won in Parasite. You got Anthony McCartan in The Two Popes. You got Quentin Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and you got Steven Zalen in The Irishman. I don't know why he was nominated. I didn't think that thing was that real written. Honestly, I think, thank God, it was based on a true story, so they could somehow help the drama increase the potency of the writing, I guess. So yeah, with that being said, I think the winner of this one is gonna end up Parasite. I just got a feeling. If not Parasite, it's gonna be A Marriage Story. I don't know about The Two Popes. The Two Popes I'm sleeping on it. More than likely, I'm sleeping on it. I don't know. I got time to revisit anything that I say that I might backtrack on. I'm not doing this whole reaction thing again, but some stuff I could end up backtracking on. For original score, I'm not naming these artists. The only person you know is Randy Newman and Thomas Newman, technically. So you got Little Women, you got Joker, you got Marriage Story, you got 1917, and you got Motherless Brooklyn. I think the score to that is going to go to 1917, and I don't think it's going to be close. Best original song is from Cats, Rocket Man, Frozen 2. Oh, Into the Yonder. Into the Yonder was in my head. It was an earworm, but if it wins Golden Globe, I will hate on it somehow, some way. Spirit by Lion King and you got Stand Up and Harriet. So I'm betting on Lion King for that one. Possibly Cats. I don't know. And for the animated feature, the Golden Globes, you got Frozen 2, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, The Lion King, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. My favorite for that one is Toy Story 4. Hopefully, story still matters. And also, when it comes down to story, is How to Train Your Dragon 3. That could easily, possibly win it, but I just kind of don't see it. I never got into How to Train Your Dragon. I just never could. And I get into kids' movies, trust me. And finally, foreign language film, you got The Farewell, Les Miserables, Les Lamis, I'm just going to cheat and say that. And Pain and Glory, Parasite, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And Parasite is going to win it. It's going to win it. Either that and Pain or Glory, but I'm going to get out to Parasite. So, let's see. What's your predictions, man? Do you got predictions for this? Do you got predictions for this? We'll see, man. We'll see. Hit me up if you have any predictions, any Oscar, Golden Globe predictions. I want to hear them. This should be a very competitive year. The same thing for the Oscars, and I couldn't be more excited for Hollywood right now. With everything going on between the streaming platforms, we are getting the most competitive age in Hollywood we have in a long time. I am here for it, and I am excited for it. I'm excited for you sticking with me, man. Thank you. I'm going to make it my undying mission to figure out a way to get y'all these t-shirts. I got people who want to support this podcast that I want to thank somehow and give you your chance to get this merchandising and, really have people asking, what's that? Who is that? Because y'all are my inspiration. The numbers are very inconsistent sometimes. Remember a couple podcasts ago, I was like, oh, yeah, the numbers going up. Nah, that's everywhere now. It's everywhere. But I need a marketing team. All right, y'all. Y'all love movies, love each other. I'll be seeing y'all again soon. Always feel free to reach out for me anytime you see a movie. Let's talk movies. 216@gmail.com. Let's do a movement. Let's be the movie crew. Let's do it. I oversell sometimes. What the fuck ever. Until next time.
This is the Novelty Podcast.